getting yourself ready for your match. If you notice, I'm a little bit out of breath because I'm moving my feet and I'm staying focused. And right here, there's a little bit of sweat for you. So the next time you warm up, make sure you pay attention to that. So you're ready to go, ready to bring the fire. Today, guys, I want to talk a little bit about warm-up. I feel like I see this a lot. We have a lot of tournaments here at our club, and recently I've been seeing this more and more and more. So I want to kind of take a few minutes to talk about what warm-up is like and what you do at a tournament versus, say, you're warming up for a practice. So practice, we obviously have a little bit more time, so that's where we might start with a little bit of short court. So the one thing you want to try to do is keep your feet moving, adjusting for the ball. Nice control. Don't change the stroke so much as slow it down and get a little bit of feel for the ball. So what I'm going to start with Ella here, we're just going to warm up nice and soft for a couple of seconds, and then we're going to go back to the baseline. The one thing we want to make sure of is that we've got great control, right? Warm up is about control and feel, not so much about, hitting the ball hard. So I'm going to kind of keep my feet going, and we're just going to kind of hit that ball nice and smooth up the center. I see this happening a lot when people are warming up for tournaments. They've got a 5 or 7 minute warm up and they start short court. When you warm up for a tournament, the one thing we want to make sure of is that we're warmed up before we actually walk onto the court, and we do not waste time with a short court warm up. It's not enough time, and we want to hit as many balls from the back of the court as possible. So we're not going to start our tournament warm up when we're playing a match warming up short court. When we're warming up for practice, we have a little bit more time. Coming out really cold, sure, we can start with some short court, but we do not, I repeat, we do not do this when we're warming up for our tournament match. We're out on the court, we got 5 minutes. We're gonna go all the way straight back to the baseline. So again, getting some feel, hitting forward through the ball, but it just at a nice slower pace, still getting in position every time. Once we do that for a minute or two, we're gonna back up to the baseline. When I'm warming up with someone, the one thing is that it's cooperative, right? So I'm going to cooperate with Ella here. I'm going to hit that ball kind of in her strike zone. I'm not trying to beat her in a point. I'm also not trying to out-hit her with pace. And she's one of my lessons, so it's a little different. But for the most part, when I'm starting, I'm aiming for their body, right? I might decide whether I want them to hit a forehand or a backhand to give them a little bit of warm-up on either one. But I am going to make sure that every ball is kind of right down the center of the court. So here we go. Right up the center. Again, we're going strictly for as many balls in a row, and we're trying to hit right to each other as much as possible. 50% pace to start, just to get, again, feel for the ball. So we're going up the center. Good. That's it. Nice and solid right there. Nice, Ella. Good pace. Excellent. Good, good, good. Up to the ball. Great. Fantastic. Great work. Again, I'm getting in position every time, feeling like I'm hitting through the ball, right? But I'm not full speed yet. Sorry, Ella. One thing that you notice in that rally is Ella and I had a 12, 15 shot rally. That's really important when you start warming up. When people come out and they miss every other ball, they're not warming up, they're hitting shots. So we want to try to really focus on our consistency as well when we warm up. Not making a lot of errors. So right away, great time to start working on your feet, and then also engaging your mind right away so that you're not necessarily making a lot of mistakes. But one of the first things when we're playing is we want to mentally be ready. So when you watch the pros come out on the court, they have their headphones on. That's because they're mentally preparing for their match, and they've already done that in the locker room, but they're trying to keep that focus. So when they come out on the court, it's all business. So again, up the center, not a lot of mistakes, trying to keep it very simple. Once I start to feel warmed up, like I'm starting to sweat, like right now I am starting to sweat, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start to speed my ball up maybe from 50 to 65, 70%. Again, still making sure that I'm in position every time. Again, everything is middle, so for the most part, it's just me adjusting my feet in my pocket, hitting a nice ball that Ella can cooperate with me with, and we're making a lot of shots, not a lot of mistakes. Perfect, Ella. Good job. Excellent work. One goes out wide, you go get it, but then you reset right back to the center every time. Good. Very nice. So I'm going to do that. Now, if I'm warming up for a tournament, one thing that I like to do, so if I'm warming up for a tournament match, I'm going to hit an approach, come in behind it, and I'm going to volley. So here's what that would look like. If I start hitting, I'm going to hit a ball, and I'm going to treat it like an approach. Practice my split step coming into the court, right? Now, one thing I see when people are warming up, they're warming up their volley from right here. They're like here, they're here, and they're scrounging around, and they're trying to find the ball, and everything's fast. When you watch a professional warm up the net, they're right inside the service line. Two reasons. One, I'm still warming up, so my reactions aren't 100%, so I need a little bit more time. And second, this is the majority of the time where I hit my first volley from is right inside the service line or right behind it. So I'm not even going to get a second volley if I'm not practiced at warming up and hitting my first ball from here. So I'm going to really focus on, again, feet are moving, but I'm just inside the service line. I'm not rushing to the net. There's no need. I am focusing on staying solid right there at the service line. So again, I'm moving, I'm setting, I'm letting that ball come to me, and I'm nice and solid out in front. And if it bounces in front of me, it bounces in front of me. I'm okay with that. I need to handle those balls anyway, so I'm just focused on out in front. I'm going to ask for a few overheads. When you do that, again, not trying to win the point, trying to be consistent. So first 2 or 3, I'm hitting right to my opponent so that they can hit me another lob. Right? If I want the best warm-up for me, when I'm playing, I need to control that by hitting the ball to my partner and have them the ability for them to hit the ball back to me. If I pounded my overhead really hard, Ella's not going to be able to put that ball back in the court. But because I hit that with good pace, but not too hard, she was able to hit those back to me. So my opponent's going to do that, but I'm not in control of how they warm up. When I start to do serve and return warm up, I want to make sure I take a few returns as well as serves. So that when they say 2 minutes in your warm up, the biggest thing you want to make sure of is that you save a few turns after you hit a few serves. Then you're going to hit a few returns in that 2 minutes to make sure you're ready for your match. You don't want your first return to be the return coming out of the gate of the match. You want to make sure you've hit a few returns in your previous practice, but when you're warming up for your match, also take a few off your opponent's serve. But really, really important, like simple warm-up, super critical that you're efficient and effective. And that means that you're not making a lot of mistakes. You're moving your feet as much as possible, and you're really engaging with your ball so that you're focusing on your mind, getting yourself ready for your match. If you notice, I'm a little bit out of breath because I'm moving my feet and I'm staying focused. I'm not wasting a lot of time in those 5 minutes. And right here, there's a little bit of sweat for you, which means I was doing what I needed to do. So when I'm coming out of the gate for my first point, my body's warm and I'm ready to go. So the next time you warm up, make sure you pay attention to that so you're ready to go, ready to bring the fire. Have a great day, guys.